Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Nestling Woods Schoolhouse. I'm Audie, and I'm so happy that you could join me today. So we are continuing with our Mythbusters series, and the big myth we're going to be talking about today is whether or not homeschooling takes all day. There's a common misconception that homeschooling takes longer hours, or the same amount of hours that a regular school day takes, and the reality is that it does not take nearly as long as people think. So we're going to dive into that right now. So for starters, why does this myth even exist? Mostly because of how school days are structured and what most people are familiar with based on their own educational experiences. So think about a normal school day, right? It typically starts sometime around 8 o'clock, give or take half an hour, and goes until 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So many people have this misconception that a homeschool day should run from 8 to 3, but in reality, it is far from that. How long does homeschooling actually take? Personally, we utilize the Charlotte Mason method, and we also combine a little bit of Waldorf, but mostly Charlotte Mason. And she teaches about how you should limit lesson times depending on the ages of the child, which I'll include right here, so you can review it yourself. But a typical homeschool day for an elementary age child takes 1 to 2 hours on average. Middle school, 2 to 4 hours, and at the high school level, 4 to 5 hours. Why is homeschooling more efficient though? First, smaller class sizes. So homeschool, you have just your children, maybe you help someone else out with their homeschooling, but typically you have less than 10 kids at any given time. Realistically, less than 5 kids at any given time. And that's perfectly fine to be able to give each kid their individual attention to the subject that they are learning based on their age level, and then being able to come together for certain family style lessons like read aloud, certain science curriculums, and history lessons. Those work great family style. So small class sizes is a huge reason why it's more efficient. Second is there's less distractions, right? Certain kids come in and they're disruptive because they don't want to be there, or they have things going on in their personal life, and that can be a distraction. You have fire drills that happen, you have assemblies that need to happen. There's so many things that can disrupt a normal, regular school day, and those things just don't happen in homeschool. And that's part of the reason why it's just more efficient. So how should you structure your day? This is going to depend on you as the teacher and what you are the most comfortable with and what your child or children thrive with the best. What works for some kids might not work for others, and you might even find that what works for one of your kids might not work for another one of your kids, and that's totally fine. For us, what we do is I lay everything out the night before, and then in the morning after we've had breakfast, we sit down and work on whichever subject Eloise is feeling that she wants to work on first. And that works really well for us. And I set a timer for 15 to 20 minutes. And once that timer goes off for that subject, she has a choice of being done for that subject for the day or to finish out the lesson. Some days we finish the lesson early. Some days she wants to keep going and finish the lesson since she's almost close to be done anyways. And other days she just doesn't finish that lesson, and that's okay because I don't want to push her to try to finish it sooner than what she's ready. I really want to make sure she understands those concepts. So that works well for us. What about unstructured time? We've already established that a homeschool day is going to take a lot less time than a regular school day, and that is okay. So what do you do with all the extra time you have in your schedule? This is one of the many beautiful things about homeschooling, is you have such a wide range of option that wouldn't be there otherwise. You can spend far more time outside, being able to enjoy nature and the world around us. You can go on more field trips. You can learn how to cook together. You can read pretty much any book under the sun, being able to spend that much time together. And kids can focus on their hobbies and their interests to really develop into who they want to become and not be stifled into a box into who people might think that they should be. I also want to say that there are some states that do require certain regulations to be followed for homeschool obligations to be met. There are some states where you do need to have a certain number of hours in a school year in order to be able to continue on with homeschool. And there are some states where you need to have a certain number of days recorded for your students in your homeschool. And that is going to vary depending on state, like I said. So just make sure you're looking at your own unique homeschool laws. Alrighty, y'all, that brings us to the end of our myth. As you can see from what we've discussed so far, there really isn't any reason that a homeschool day needs to be that strenuous and long as a traditional school day, and that's okay. It's meant to go quickly and efficiently and meant to be able to help kids in the way that they need and not have so much wasted time. It helps them being able to explore their passions far more than they would have been able to otherwise, and being able to enjoy the world around all of us. All right, if you like this video, please hit the like button below. Please subscribe, comment if you would like me to do any additional resources that I mentioned throughout this video. Until next time, happy homeschooling.